Turkey is about to have its first local elections since the country voted to adopt the presidential system, the results of which could impact policies as well as local and international politics more than anyone may presume. First, the basics. Turkey is split up into a few types of districts, and depending on how many people live there, they could be voting for different posts. For example, people living in Beşiktaş, which is a district within Istanbul's metropolitan area, will vote for the metropolitan municipality mayor, or the big boss of Istanbul, the mayor of Beşiktaş or their district, council members for their municipality, and people appointed to a position called muhtar, which are elected representatives for each small neighborhood, and usually the first point of contact for many of the population's needs. In Istanbul, there are, get this, 959 of them. But for folk living in Yalova, a smaller city just south of Istanbul's borders, they'll just be voting for their mayor, the municipal council members, provincial assembly members, and their local muhtar. In Yalova, there are 59 muhtars tasked with helping the city's smaller population. From the ruling political party's perspective, local elections are seen as a litmus test for the performance of the central government. The country's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is a key figure in the nation's consciousness and plays a pivotal role in many regional and international issues. But if his party and their allies win or lose in this election, it's not necessarily a sign of how they will fare in the 2023 presidential election. The reason for that, according to Fuat Kiman, a professor of political science and director of a prominent Turkish think tank, is that usually in local elections, voters tend to cast their ballots for the candidate who they believe will provide them with the best services, and not necessarily vote along party or ideological lines. But this time, he's not so sure. And we may see voters behaving like they do in national elections, where they vote along ideological lines instead. Opposition parties may also see this run as a springboard for the next general elections in 2023, and local elections are also significant for individual politicians. Many national leaders have cut their teeth in Turkey's politics and established themselves in local politics. Erdogan, for instance, won the municipal elections in Istanbul in 1994, and it was his performance as the mayor of Istanbul that brought him into the forefront of Turkish politics. So, what do voters care about? The concerns for Turks in big cities are the same as people living in major metropolitan areas everywhere. Issues like traffic and public transportation are on the forefront of their minds. Nearly all of the political parties released manifestos and promises to bring smart solutions to the problems their constituents face, such as building new underground metro lines and creating green spaces throughout their cities. And these elections make a big difference for those sectors. According to official figures, in 2018, local governments were responsible for approximately 35% of total public investment in areas such as transportation, healthcare, arts, culture, sports, and tourism. And the investment could lead to greater production, more tourism, and a strengthened economy, which in a country still recovering from a currency crisis could make a big difference in both national and regional politics. The voting process is fairly simple and monitored by international and domestic observers. People come to polling stations, show their ID, and drop a ballot into a clear polling box. Afterwards, the boxes are opened and votes are counted in front of representatives from each of the parties if they choose to be present. We'll have to wait until March 31st to see how the results of the almost 58 million votes will impact both Turkey and the region.